So, I have great news. I was chosen to be one of the class of 2023 Black Voices for YouTube. That's me. That's really me. That's me. And like YouTube has been really showing me a lot of love. Like they be in my DMs, they be tweeting me. It'd be wild. I've had just so many cool things happen in the past 2 years since my channel really getting all the life that it's been receiving. And first off, I just want to thank everybody that's here because y'all make this possible. You come back every single week or month or every season and tune in, and we just have built this really cool tribe and community. And I believe we are the #1 chill spot on YouTube, and there's going to be so much cool things to happen in 2023 with this YouTube 2023 class. You know, they are giving me additional support, resources, you understand, so I can really invest into the channel and bring the ideas forth that I've always wanted to do. So this is a real cool opportunity. I want to talk about content creation because it's been changing my life, and I know there's a lot of aspiring content creators out there or people out there creating, and I just want to give a little bit of insight in a podcast of the way I'm approaching content creation right now, and maybe there'll be a few gems or tips in there for you that you can apply so you can feel more flow in your process, gratitude, and take things to the next level. So let's get into it.
A lot of us are trying to elevate our creativity to the next level, turn it into a business, whatever it may be. For me, I've had such a journey. It's an interesting thing when the thing you love becomes also your business. And, I've been doing videography for quite some time. So I used to shoot a lot of, music videos for artists, travel documentaries, commercial stuff. Indian weddings was like one of my fortes. I learned a lot there. That was like boot camp for videography, let me tell you. I loved it in the beginning, and then after I was like, get me out of here. And then came to switch where I was like, man, I want to take all these skills I've learned in video and sound and apply it to my own vision. But I never realized the difficulty in when your hobby, like my personal content, which was my hobby at one point, it was like my visual diary, becomes your business as well, especially when what I do is just so casual. You understand? Like we sit, we talk about the unseen things, and we have a cup of tea, and it's very weird for me to still grasp that this is a business. It's very difficult, but certain days I got to put that hat on. You understand? Now, I know a lot of us struggle with perfectionism, and I actually believe you should make things perfect, right? Because that's how you're going to be proud of things. But there is an ebb and flow. There's a balance, and there's a relationship there. Now, there was a time where I was super proud with everything that I was making. You understand? Like I was like, this is before anyone discovered me. I was like, I'm the best unkept secret out here, super confident. And I was really proud of what I was making, but nobody was paying attention, right? And I was more making things somewhat consistently, but really when I had the time or the energy or an idea came to me, and then I'll apply myself to it. But when I wanted to take things seriously, I was like, man, I need to figure out how I can do this every single day. And that's a different momentum. And the same level of production I would apply to things in the past isn't necessarily the same level of production I can apply to something if I'm trying to produce something almost every single day. And because, I have the eyes and ears to, see and feel and hear, I always know how to make something better, right? So I know where it can go. So it would be very hard for me to be like, let go of something and say it's good enough. But I challenged myself because I said, you know what? Let me see if I can do this because other people are doing it, and I hear that consistency is so important. And I'm like, okay, fine. And what I did realize was it's not necessarily that I let go of perfectionism, is that I allowed myself and my flaws to be seen. Less editing, right? I would get on camera and just have no edits, just straight talking. And I started to enjoy less production and just more of a flow and presence. And I actually found that there was more production in that, just in the way my energy was coming through the screen. And I found more value in that as well, instead of just like immaculate edits, because your boy can edit. And I haven't really, I talk about this, but I don't really flex the editing that much on the channel because, again, I've been focused on staying consistent and, editing every single day for 10 hours. I'm not interested in right now. But I did experience getting consistent and letting go of that perfectionism. It allowed me to grow my online profiles. First, it happened on TikTok, and that was like a social experiment for me. And I started to blow up on there, racked up about 500,000. TikTok was giving me opportunities. I did a live stream with them. I'm even on TikTok radio right now on Sirius XM. And then I just pretty much stopped making TikTok videos for a very good reason. Now, a lot of people would be like, why did you stop making TikTok videos when you could have just brought your page from where it was to like millions? Guaranteed, I would probably have 2 million subscribers, at least 1.5, if I continued posting TikToks consistently. But what I found was I was losing the ability to dive deep. Now, I've always been someone that could just sit on my computer and work for hours and hours and dive deep into something, To me, that has been a meditation. That's like a prayer. That's where I've learned the most about myself. I've said this often, and I've even mentioned it in one of my courses that's on Skillshare, that this has been like a spiritual journey for me, a self-love journey, learning more about myself. I have learned it in content creation. So going deep, I was never afraid of. But TikTok, because you can make a video that's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, something that you didn't even think of, you just naturally let it fly, and that can go and get millions of views. It rewires your brain to put in less effort and have a higher reward. That when I would come over to YouTube and my brain would realize that I gotta, film for a few hours, script for a couple hours, edit for 10 hours, my brain didn't want to put in that work, because my brain also said, well, no one's going to even really see it. At the time, I had about a couple thousand subscribers, maybe 2,000. Every video, didn't even touch 1,000 views. And I'm like, well, I'm racking up millions on TikTok. But when I realized I lost that ability, I realized what I had to do. I'm like, you can either be over here for the clout, or you can go preserve your creative abilities. So I came back to YouTube. I was also doing the podcast, so that was good. Once I started to focus on YouTube again, it only took me 3 months or 2 months to blow my YouTube up. About 250,000 subscribers in 1 month, which is wild to think about it, because just 15 months ago, and I say we because this is a community, you understand? This is a chill spot for all of us. We were at like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers 15 months ago, and now we're at 600,000, right? If I stayed on TikTok and I continued to do what I was doing, I would have submersed myself more into quick engagement, high engagement, and less effort, and I wouldn't be here in the long form connecting with y'all. So now when I came to YouTube, I learned a lot. I've learned a lot being on YouTube, because same thing, I focused on consistency, because I always heard you got to be consistent on YouTube. You got to be consistent on YouTube. And I have been. For the most part, for a good year, I've been consistent on YouTube. But now I'm in the place where I want to dive deeper. I want to dive deeper, but I don't want to take long breaks away from YouTube, right? I want to go back into the perfection bag. So I realized, how can we do that? And as creators, I think it's so nice to have multiple formats that you can give your energy to, you understand? Because some days you're going to have more energy than others, or seasons more energy than others. And just being aware of your energy and the time that you have and still being able to express is number one. In this season, we're doing a lot of back-end stuff, getting products ready, new websites to launch. Just so many things are happening that I don't want to be editing all day. I really don't. That's why I want to be here podcasting with you. This is much more of a flow for me to express with you. It's a great format. Live streaming, such a great format for me right now. But in the meantime, I realized, like the video I just spent 20 hours working on, I could do that every month, take one video where I just put my all into it, work on it for a couple hours each day. By the end of the month, who knows, there may be 100 hours in that piece, but it's going to be like a piece, like something that I will put in my personal portfolio. And I think as artists, it's important that we do that we're still nurturing ourselves, right? And making sure that we are proud of what we are making. But when it's a business as well, that you're also thinking forward that, hey, yeah, there is a certain level of consistency. And what other types of formats and content can you make that still feel joyful for you and that your community is going to love? Because what I found most is I could go spend 50, 100 hours on something and people will like it. But a lot of the times I get on camera and whatever my idea is for the day, I'll just share it nonchalant. And that video will do like the best. You know what I'm saying? And that could be so frustrating as a creator because you're like, did you not just see the effort I put in on this? Like, do you not see the sound design? Do you not see the edits? But it's not for other people necessarily, right? It's for yourself. And that's what I'm saying. As a creative spirit, you got to nourish that spirit within yourself. You still got to nourish that spirit within yourself. So sometimes when I want to clear my mind and take a walk, I like to listen to the Tao Te Ching on Audible, who is our sponsor of today. Audible is the best place to listen to whatever you are interested in, from best-selling audiobooks in every genre to exclusive Audible originals to popular podcasts. It's all in one place. Now, there's so much to choose from. That's why as an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. But it doesn't stop there. All Audible members now also get access to a growing selection of titles included with membership that you can listen to all you want. So I want to hook you up. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/HINDZ or text HINDZ to 500 to try Audible today. And carrying on from our last point about sometimes, the market decides like what they love. That's what I think is so cool about kind of consistently expressing yourself, that everything that you do kind of becomes like creative research, right? People who tune into you, like they will tell you what they love about you. And the things that you don't like about yourself, you may realize that they love. And it's actually very empowering, There's so many things I created that I was kind of like not sure about. And then when people were like, yo, like what you said, you don't understand what that did for me. I was like, oh, really? Interesting. Interesting. Let me take note of that. And then you actually become a better creator, not in the sense where you're just serving people, but you start to understand your audience more, right? Because when you build an audience, we're all kind of traveling on a similar frequency. That's why we're all here. We share certain interests and a certain vibe, and I put my vibe out into the world and it's attracted you. And that's why we have the Discord, and everyone in the Discord is very friendly and gets along because we all have like a similar frequency, you understand? And when you put out content and you allow yourself to be seen and even your flaws to be seen, you will learn a lot about yourself through that community and audience. That's why I always say, don't hold yourself back through perfectionism, but make sure that you dive deep on your project so you are proud of it. And it's a balance as creators, because once you start to do this professionally, and I mean really professionally, where you're making money, you understand, like money where you're taking care of yourself, you can take care of other people. Like, you understand, we, as much as like we drinking tea and we having fun, this is a business and I want to grow it as well, because we have a lot of good works to do on this planet and we're just managing God's resources, and we want to help other creators and people and just, build a beautiful, sustainable ecosystem that we all can really thrive. So it's a business as well. And I'm still learning how to throw on that business hat and then throw on that creative hat. And it's kind of mixy when you try to mix it all in one day. And I'm just realizing that I would beat myself up knowing that I could get more creative. And I'm like, well, HINDZ, that's not necessarily the season that you're in. The season that you're in right now isn't the season where you're going to be editing for 10 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? The season that you're in right now is you're getting ready to launch products and build campaigns, understand? You're getting ready to do a lot of different things. So instead, do different types of formats and content that nourishes your soul and your community. don't try to break your back right now. And that's why I am just thinking about really diving deeper on this podcast format with y'all and live streaming. So let me know what you think about that, because this is a community effort and y'all are the ones that come here and consume and enjoy and chat with me. So I don't know. I think we can have a good conversation almost every single day between a live stream and a podcast. And you already know I love creating. I love creators, and I want to help as many creators out there get started. So you done know in hindsight, everything is going to be all right. Survive ting, and we powered by shit. Just get creating and know over time it will happen for you. I believe if you just work at it and continue to work at it, it will work out at some point, right? It may take years and years and years, but if you're resilient, it will happen, God willing.